Welcome to GTech. Now we are going to see about effects of electric current. Electric current has three effects. They are heating, chemical, and magnetic. The heating effect of electric current is used in many everyday devices. Say for example, electric cookers, kettles and toasters are among the household appliances that rely on it. Living in an electrical and interestingly in an electronic age, we are familiar with many practical applications of electric current, such as bulbs, electroplating, electric fans, electric motors, etc. This important physical consequence of current is magnetic effect of electric current. Now let us see about the heating effect, that is Joule's law. Joule's law can be stated as the quantity of heat H generated in a conductor of resistance R when a current is directly proportional to the square of the current, the resistance of the conductor, the time for which the current flows. This is the circuit representation of Joule's law. Joule's law is equals to P is equals to I square R, where I represents the current in amperes unit, R represents the resistance in ohms unit, P represents the power in watts. When a voltage V is applied between the ends of the conductor, resulting in the flow of current I, the free electrons are accelerated. Hence, the electrons gain energy at the rate of Vi per second. The lattice ions or atoms receives this energy Vi from the colliding electrons in random bursts. This increase in energy is nothing but the thermal energy of the lattice. Now let us see about the verification of Joule's law. Joule's law is verified using Joule's calorimeter. This calorimeter consists of a resistance coil R enclosed inside a copper calorimeter. You could see the picture in the left side shows you that the resistance coil R has been taken and that has been enclosed inside a copper calorimeter. So this is the calorimeter, and a battery BT has been taken. With that, a key, a rheostat and an ammeter are connected in series with a calorimeter. Ammeter, key as well as the rheostat and the battery has been connected in series. A voltmeter is also taken and is connected across the end of the coil. So, the first one is about the law of current. The initial temperature of water is measured as theta 1. Let W be the heat capacity of calorimeter and content. Now a current of I1 is passed for a time of T. So the law of current has been shown over here in the left side. That is H1 by I1 square is equals to H2 by I2 square is equals to H3 by I3 square. Cumulatively, we can make it out as H by I square is equals to a constant. Now let us see about the law of resistance. The same amount of current I is passed for the same time t through different coils of resistance R1, R2, R3, etc. The corresponding quantities of heat gained such as H1, H2, H3, etc. are calculated. It is found that H1 by R1 is equals to H2 by R2 is equals to H3 by R3. So cumulatively we can make it out as H by R is equals to a constant. So the picture below shows you the representation of laws of resistance where the same amount of current has been passed for the same time through the different coils of resistance that is getting varied. So the heat get varied and get generated. Now let us see about law of time. The same amount of current I is passed through the same resistance R for different intervals of time, that is T1, T2, T3 has been taken and so on. The corresponding quantities of heat gained H1, H2, H3 and so on are calculated. So we can make it out as H1 by T1 is H1 by T1, H2 by T2, H3 by T3. So cumulatively H by T is equals to constant. Now let us see about the application of Joule's heating. The first one is electric heating devices. Electric iron, electric heater, electric toaster are some of the applications that work on the principle of heating effects of current. In this application, nichrome, which is an alloy of nickel and chromium, is used as the heating element. You could see the pictures of the applications such as electric toaster, electric iron and electric heater in the left side. And some of the application includes fuse wires, lead, tin. So the fuse wire is an alloy of lead and tin. So by the combination of 37% of lead with 63% of tin, you could get the fuse wire. It is connected in series in an electric circuit. It has high resistance and low melting point. Therefore, the electric appliances are saved from damage. Electric bulb also falls under the application of Joule's heating. An incandescent light bulb or incandescent lamp are also called as incandescent light globe is an electric light which produces light with a wire filament heated to a high temperature by an electric current passing through it until it glows. Now let us see about Seebeck effect. Seebeck effect is a phenomenon in which a temperature difference between two dissimilar electrical conductor or semiconductor produces a voltage difference between the two substances. Here they had given you a picture representing the Seebeck effect where heat source from various places has been taken. So one is generating a negative charge and another side is generating a positive charge. So they act as a cation and anion. Once these heat get synced up, the voltage generated get varies. This is the basic idea behind Seebeck effect. So the two dissimilar metals connected to form two junctions is called thermocouple. The EMF developed in the circuit is thermoelectric EMF. EMF means electromotive force. The current through the circuit is called thermoelectric current. Now, let us see about the neutral and inversion temperature. Graph showing the variation of the thermo EMF with temperature of the hot junction, taking the temperature of cold junction as origin. So the picture in the left side shows you the graphical representation against thermo EMF and the temperature T. So here the temperature of hot junction and the temperature of cold junction is of same. For small difference in temperature between the junction, the graph is straight line. For large difference in temperature, the graph is a parabola. Keeping the temperature of the cold junction constant, the temperature of the hot junction is gradually increased. So you can see in the picture right side where thermo EMF is taken in y-axis and temperature of hot junction is taken in x-axis. So here when the temperature has been kept constant in cold junction, the temperature of the hot junction will get gradually increased. Now let us see about Peltier effect. An effect whereby heat is given out or absorbed when an electric current passes across a junction between two materials. In 1834, a French scientist, Peltier, discovered that when electric current is passed through a circuit consist of two dissimilar metals, heat is evolved at one junction and absorbed at other junction. In the left side picture, you can see the Peltier effect where a cold temperatured place is there and a hot temperature is maintained in another end. So the basic idea behind this is that when an electric current I is passed through a circuit, over here the circuit has been given. So two dissimilar metal has been taken. One metal is N metal and another metal is P metal. Heat is evolved at one junction and it is getting absorbed at other junction. So they have shown the heat flow in the previous screen from top to bottom. Here in this Peltier effect you could see that heat is getting absorbed in bottom and it's getting released in the top. So in copper ferrous thermocouple, at the junction 1 where the current flows from copper to ferrous, so the current is getting flow from copper to ferrous, heat is absorbed, so it get cooled. So here in this region heat is getting cooled, and at the junction 2, here this is the junction 2 where the current flows from Fe to Cu, heat is liberated or released, so it get heated. So over here you could get the heat and over here it get cooled. So now let us see about the Peltier coefficient. The amount of heat energy observed or evolved at one of the junction of a thermocouple when 1 ampere current flows for 1 second or 1 coulomb is called Peltier coefficient. It is denoted by pi. Its unit is volt. If H is the quantity of heat absorbed or evolved at one junction, then H is equals to pi IT. So basically a semiconductor model such as N type or P type will be taken and current will be absorbed in one end and it will get released in other end. So Peltier coefficient is taken to be pi. When pi is lesser than 0, the conductor is N type of semiconductor. When the pi value is greater than 0, it is P type semiconductor. Now let us see about Thomson effect. In thermodynamics, the Joule-Thomson effect, also known as the Joule-Kelvin effect or Kelvin-Joule effect or Joule-Thomson expansion, describes the temperature change of a gas or liquid when it is forced through a valve or porous plug while kept insulated so that no heat is exchanged with the environment. You could see the picture below shows you the Thomson effect. So an insulator has been taken. So temperature T1 is getting variated in the other end as temperature T2 when the current is passed from one end to another end. This is so called Thomson effect. Thomson also suggested that when a current flows through unequally heated conductor, heat energy is absorbed or evolved throughout the body of the metal. So this may get varied into positive effect as well as negative effect. So when heat absorbed and it get evolved means positive effect. When heat evolved and get absorbed means negative effect. So Thomson coefficient. Sigma is denoted as the Thomson coefficient. The amount of heat energy absorbed or evolved when 1 ampere current flows for 1 second, that is 1 Coulomb, in a metal between 2 points which differs in temperature by 1 degree Celsius is called Thomson coefficient. It is denoted by sigma. Its unit is volt per degree Celsius. So you could see the picture in the left side shows you that one end is cold and another end is cold, and in between I am placing one lamp to get the rod heated. So hot conditions applied in the mid part. When heat evolved from left side to the right side, that is from one end to another end, it gets absorbed at the other cold end.